Hi everyone, it's Jaden with Refusing to be Mediocre, and today's video is about how to raise your standards. These are my top tips on how I raised my standards and continue to use in order to level up my life. Now, we've all heard that quote by Tony Robbins. You know, that's one of his most famous ones on simply how to change your life is to raise your standards. So what I found were these tips really helped me to change my life, and they're kind of simple, but they're very powerful in the way that they did change my mindset and my confidence levels. So I figured I'd share them with you guys and hope that you can implement them in your life and help raise your standards and change your life. So the first one is the environment that you're in. So for me, as some people may know, I live in a sort of like a council block area. You know, the flat that I ended up buying was very run down. You know, it's an old building, and for me, looking at where I wanted to be and then looking around my place, my home, it was hard to visualize as easily as to where I wanted to go. So what I did was I completely decorated. It took time, it took a good 5 years because of my income and my money. But what I did was I slowly improved the environment. And you know, if you're in a similar situation where finances aren't, you know, abundant, start with simple things by decluttering. I found that really powerful. Just declutter anything that doesn't serve you anymore, and then start with decorating. So simply painting can literally change the whole feel of a room, the whole, you know, aesthetics of it, and it can make it suddenly feel a lot more abundant and positive by simply painting and just slowly, you know, upcycling your furniture or buying new ones if you're in a position to do so. And as I said, like, this took me years to do, but I did it, and it has really changed, you know, how I feel about myself, you know. And when I look around, I feel so much more abundant and like fresh, and I'm able to focus because I haven't got any clutter. So this is something that I found really enjoyable, and you know, get creative about it, you know, get organised, get decluttered, and have fun with it. Now this one you might have heard already. My second tip is to be well groomed and dressed as well as you can. So no matter what the situation is, dress in your best clothes as much as you can. This is an instant confidence booster. You know, we all suddenly stand up straighter, feel fresh and good about ourselves when we put on like our best shirt or best dress, so to speak. And doing this more than, you know, once a week on just a Saturday night will keep rewiring your brain to feel those good feelings about yourself, and you'll just start feeling more confident no matter what. But you also, like, yeah, be well groomed. You know, if you've got a scruffy beard or you haven't had a fresh haircut, you know, when you go for that haircut, you kind of just walk out with a different stride in your step. And I just encourage you to not, you know, kind of like leave it till it gets to the point that you're just not feeling that great about yourself. You know, keep your hair cut, keep, you know, well shaved, or keep your beard or whatever in order, and just, you know, make sure that you don't go too long without that, you know, where you're standing up straight and you're feeling good about yourself. Try and do that as much as you can, and I guarantee that will boost your confidence and your mindset about yourself 100%. Now, we all know the importance of taking care of our health, but sometimes we forget the why, or why it's important to do so. And I found that when I started taking really good care of my health, I found that I said to myself in a way that I'm stepping up, I'm raising my standards by taking care of my health, my body, and I felt good about myself. And yet you just start feeling this different way about yourself. Now this tip you might not have heard before in the sense of going with raising your standards, but I found being more organised and never late for an appointment said a lot about my character, and said a lot to myself about my character. It was a simple way of raising my standards without much effort. So always turning up early for an appointment, not forgetting, and being efficient and reliable. People saw me as reliable, and because I was not missing things and I was turning up late and I was prepared. And I just think that's a simple way to raise your standards and for other people to see that you have high standards for yourself and that you're reliable. Now this last tip is one that, again, might take some gradual implementing into your life, because again, it depends on your financial situation, but it was one that really helped me with manifesting things into my life and just feeling way more abundant. So I found stop going for just the cheapest option in all aspects. So the supermarket, meals out, buying my clothes, buying anything basically. When you're struggling for money, it's natural to go for the cheapest option. But in doing that, you kind of are just stuck in that rut of just always going for the cheapest option. Your mindset is just stuck with look for the cheapest, look for the cheapest, look for the cheapest, which just reaffirms to your brain that you're poor. So what I found was I started with something really simple. I don't even know what it would have been. It would have been a food product in the supermarket. So instead of going for the cheapest bread, for example, I would just went for like the freshly baked one, and it was just a slight stretch on the finances, but it kind of instantly my brain just sort of said, oh, I can afford something better, and it was a way of taking care of myself better. My brain stopped telling myself I was poor, and then I sort of kind of like stretched this on to other aspects, so other food items. I started buying a slightly nicer one, and I just kind of like built it up from there. And then with clothing, instead of buying the cheapest clothing, I bought one item that was really good quality rather than 10 crap quality, but I could buy more, but it was the cheapest option. So this really helped, and it's something I really recommend doing, whether you're trying to save money or you just don't have it. I think this is a great way to raise your standards, and it just raises the quality of your life and your lifestyle. And like I said, it will improve your health, especially in regards to like food. So for example, the last example is like if you're going to a restaurant, money's a little bit tight, naturally kind of like you're looking at the price rather than what you want. I kind of encourage you at least like once a month to just have that spending money where you just kind of go to a restaurant and you don't worry about the cheapest one, you just purchase the one that you want. And this will slowly just start rewiring your brain to let you know that you are abundant and you have got the money, and naturally that money will just start coming to you, especially if you're adding value and working hard, of course. And I'll give you a bonus tip, as it just came to me, is getting up a bit earlier and not, it kind of goes in hand with the not being late, but if you're kind of getting up and you're snoozing the alarm and you're feeling a bit sluggish about yourself, that will leak into the rest of your day. And I found when I was sort of doing that, God, I just felt a bit grey and a bit sluggish, and I didn't have the same bounce of getting out of bed when I got up. When I set my alarm to get up I started, getting earlier and earlier, so let's say I set my alarm for 6. If I followed through and actually got up and out of bed at that time and didn't, snooze for a little bit and kind of like, oh, I've got to get up. When I started getting up and being like, yeah, I've got the day, it did raise my standards, and it raised them. I didn't even need to tell the world. It just happened in my brain that I just started feeling good about myself. And it's setting a goal and actually following through with those steps is a good way to raise your standards, and it's a good way to start feeling better about yourself, and that self-respect for yourself will just grow and grow and grow. That's my tips. I hope that you implement a few of them. If you do, tell me your favourite one, comment below. I look forward to reading them all the time. And if you have a tip for somebody else or for me, comment below a tip on how to raise your standards. Let's help each other. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Thank you.